Coming up on Mountain News this morning, travel trailers for flood survivors seem to be in better shape after crews work to restore them pre-Arctic blast conditions. And a new strain of COVID might be on the way to the Commonwealth if it isn't here already.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. Almost 5 o'clock here on this Monday morning. Man, the weekend flew by. I'm Dakota Makris. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. And Brandon, let me tell you quickly, I was getting upset with the First Alert weather team over the weekend. Okay. Because you all kept saying, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. Yeah. I was like, where's the rain? But where I was, it rained overnight. I was like, okay.
Here's the issue. We were talking about Friday morning. The graph was trying to pull it all south. The graph was the only model that got it right. So you win some, you lose some.
At least it did rain, though.
It did rain.
I mean, it's not like it didn't rain.
It was down to the south, but it did rain some. But it was a beautiful day on Saturday for the most part. And Sunday, a little bit more on the dreary side. So let's take a look at what's going on out there this morning. Currently, a few clouds still drifting around this morning. The moisture has moved out, but for the most part, we are doing okay for the moment. All right, let's take a look as we move a little further down the road into temperatures, and you'll see a lot of 30s and a few 40s out there. Cold spot looks to be 34 in Wise, and the warm spot looks to be 41 in Harlan, Jonesville, and Jacksboro this morning. Now, I think they'll fall a little bit more. We're going to try to rebound and try to keep it in the mid to upper 30s this morning. We'll see how that goes for us. Normal day to a little extra just because it's Monday. It's not too awful cold out there, but if it gets any colder, might have to deal with a little bit of jacket weather for sure. You'll probably need those anyway. Clouds give way to some sunshine later on this afternoon. 42 is the forecast high. We'll see how fast the sunshine gets out. It may get just a touch warmer in spots. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. State officials are reporting travel trailers are back to pre-Arctic blast conditions now thanks to local contractors and first responders. The sub-zero temperatures caused water lines to freeze and the campers to become really cold, which led to some survivors moving to Buckhorn Lake State Resort Park. Emergency and Management Director Jeremy Slinker says officials will use tactics from the freeze for future issues.
We're having multiple coordination calls of if we have another one of those this winter, you know, what are some additional steps we could take?
Slinker says each site has its own maintenance contractor that has done a lot of work to keep the trailers safe. Well, today, Whitesburg Middle School will reopen for students for the first time since the flood. And Letcher County teachers say they have had a lot of help to get to this point. During the weekend, a group of students from Rockcastle County rode on a bus for 3 hours to help teachers get ready for classes to begin. Librarian Sherry Bailey says it is refreshing to see people caring about the situation, especially students.
I'm so glad to find students who want to become educators to come out and help out, and to have people come from Rockcastle County to come help us in any way possible it's just been a great thing for us.
Construction and cleaning will continue through the spring as classes begin. Well, Leatherwood Elementary School will be closed today for an emergency day. Perry County Superintendent Kent Campbell announced on his Facebook page that the school is suffering from a water outage. Staff will make up the day at a later date. Campbell said all other schools will be on a regular schedule today. Louisville Gas and Electric has decided to close all 26 of its business offices in Kentucky. LG&E says a lack of walk-in transactions and an increase in self-service from customers led to the decision. The closings are expected to happen in all phases, and all offices are expected to close by the end of 2024. LG&E currently has offices located in Harlan, London, Somerset, and Middlesboro. For more information, you can go to WYMT.com. Kentucky lawmakers wrapped up the first part of the 2023 session on Friday. Well, the first part of the short session saw discussions on further reducing Kentucky's income tax down to 4%, a bill to classify hazing as a felony, and a push to make all state elections partisan. Well, other election-related bills would make changes like including more information on voter instruction cards and adding more requirements for the certification of election results. House Bill 12, the Phone Down Kentucky Act, aims to cut down on distracted driving.
Prohibit the holding of a phone or any type of device on any part of your body.
The legislative session resumes in February. Well, the filing deadline for the race for governor has come and gone, and the stage is now set for a political battle. 12 Republicans filed in time, wanting the chance to unseat current Governor Andy Beshear. Among the candidates, former UN Ambassador Kelly Knight Craft, Agricultural Commissioner Ryan Quarles, and Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
Right now, it's like a Kentucky basketball game. You walk in the arena, the score is 0-0, and it's whoever's going to be, working the hardest and reaching the most Kentuckians.
It's going to be about who can fulfill the needs of our families, and having a pretty special family myself. I think the voters of Kentucky, who by now know me pretty well, know that I'll work for them tirelessly each and every day.
Before the deadline, there were questions about former Governor Matt Bevin filing to run again, but he did not file. The primary election is May 16th. The general election is November 7th. Well, a new strain of Omicron is rapidly becoming the most common cause of new COVID infections in the U.S., and it's likely to come to Kentucky soon if it hasn't already. The new strain is called XBB 1.5. Last week, it represented 40% of all new COVID infections across the U.S. Right now, it is the dominant variant in many Northeast states. For the Southwest region, the CDC estimates it represents about 19% of all new COVID infections. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Mark Burns says this strain is more contagious, and there is no guarantee that your symptoms won't be severe if you're not vaccinated.
If you're vaccinated, maybe not worried as much. However, as I've said before, vaccination does not prevent you from getting it, okay? It just will hopefully decrease the number of hospitalizations and deaths that we see.
The new strain's symptoms appear as flu-like, and you likely won't lose your taste or smell or experience shortness of breath. Well, thank you so much for getting your Monday morning started with the Sierra Mountain News this morning. When we come back, if you're looking to supercharge your exercise routine this year, you might want to spend some extra time on the treadmill. We'll tell you the reason why in just a few minutes.
And the forecast will start off on a fairly nice note, but some big changes are on the way later this week. I'll tell you about it in about 3 minutes.